This meeting of the Recreation Commission will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting or remotely. All town board and commission meetings are required to provide remote participation. If there's a technical problem or remote participation cannot be. This meeting will end being scheduled. So, roll call. Missy Bateman.
Here.
Eileen Moynihan, here. Pat Rooney. Joe Cunningham.
Here.
Dan Haggerty. Okay. I want to do roll call votes. Yeah. Okay, so we're, sorry, I don't have the agenda. So we all have
Should
to
be right
vote
up there.
on the meeting minutes from last year.
Yes, which I put in there and I think Randy sent out. So just to make, somebody needs to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Yes, I will make a motion to approve the meeting minutes. It's, I can, from January 13th.
Second.
All in favor?
Missy, aye.
Aye.
You want me to do it? Joe?
Aye.
Awesome. And then our next, our first agenda item is a facility use request. We have a request from the Hilltop Athletic Association to utilize the B1 parking area, Benelli Field area on Thursdays from 4 to 10 PM, beginning April 3rd through October 2nd. I know unfortunately Pat's not here, so I don't know if you guys have questions. Ken is here to talk about that, but you might need to vote on it at the next meeting, because I know that Pat usually is our point person with regard to the athletic organizations, especially going into the fall dates with football. And some of those kinds of things. So I think that we need to have their input prior to a final decision, but I don't know if you guys have any
Maybe
questions
we
for
can ask
Ken?
questions while you're here and then we'll have to return.
Would you like me to come to the table?
Yeah,
Sure,
come on over.
Have a seat.
The long giant table.
Yes.
You?
It's early into the day and a half.
I appreciate you taking the time in your meeting to see me about this. The reason for this ask is, some may or may not know that the Hilltop hosts the South Shore Food Truck Association on Thursday nights. We've been doing, this will be our 4th year. First 2 years we did on Wednesday nights. It was a great success. Last year we started Thursday nights and it was, even though we had really bad weather most Thursdays, it was still a success. The community seems to really enjoy the event. It's a good spot for it, you know, near the fields. It's out of the way path. And the field location where we use Benelli, the parking area is just a really convenient spot for the overflow parking. The Hilltop has enough parking for you know, an event, small event at the club, but definitely doesn't have enough parking for such a large public community event. So in the spirit of community, with partnered with the Rec Commission last year and hopefully this year, and the use of the fields and the sports organizations through KYSO have been understanding and have not used that B1 Benelli Field on Thursday nights. It's a small inconvenience to them because I think the usage would have only been about 5 or 6 of the 20 somewhat nights. So that said, I would appreciate you know, your consideration this year and a positive outcome. And if there's anything that you folks have heard that was detrimental to the complex and that we could change or work on, please let us know.
Ken, have you spoken to KYSO already?
Joe, thank you for the question. I have not spoken with KYSO. That communication went through Pat Rooney.
Okay,
And Pat, I believe, has spoken with those folks. The main ask here is just for no activity on B1 field. And like I said, last year, I don't think they really had a problem.
Okay.
The only thing I had added, which I said, I think we need to go back, is I know the ask is on B1, but for example, when football sometimes does if they had a scrimmage. I think they've tried to have them so they're not on a Thursday night, but we just need to confirm with that.
Right.
Because even if they'll use that as overflow parking, so want to make sure that we don't have any too large events on the same evening, so I think that's just to check in with them.
Yeah.
And you guys there was another event, I think maybe last year that you came before to ask for overflow too, so that would be the
Right.
only thing moving forward, if there's any other types of events, so that we don't have that congestion conflict.
Yeah, so that other event is, I didn't have the date when I made this, but I know the date now. The other event, and I'll, if you would like, Sue, I can create another request for that, but that's gonna be October 4th. It's a Saturday,
Saturday.
so I think that's early enough in their football season. Oh, wait, when do they
Yeah,
start?
football, it's right
Well,
in the
stuff
middle of
like
their
that,
football.
into it.
season.
Oh, that's well,
Yeah.
so that's well into it, so,
But we don't know if they have home or away games, and the same thing
Yeah.
with soccer will be in the fields during that time too, so that's what we'll have to check on
okay,
their scheduling.
yep,
I don't know when yeah, but if you can put it in separate requests for
I
that,
will, I
and it
will
would
do
be the same thing.
all right.
So I think in the spring season, it seems to be not as much of an issue as sometimes with the fall, but again, I want to double check with the
Right.
sports organizations to make sure we don't have, conflict inside, if they're
Right.
gonna be using that parking for the
Right,
outside.
understood.
Yep.
Understood.
I can just say by, with talking with Pat and some of the guys like Pat Young with the sports organizations, I mean, the Hilltop's done a great job at really not intruding on it. So, Ken, once we look, I'm all for it, but we just got to make sure we check all the boxes.
Indeed.
And last year, I changed the way that you did help, like the support with the parking too. I thought it was smoother. I don't know
Yeah.
what you did differently, but,
Well,
I don't know what it was, but.
you learn from your mistakes, and the first week we ever did it was just a giant mistake. And I don't
Everything
think,
is the first time you do it,
Yeah,
right?
I don't-
Whatever.
I don't-
We try.
so I tried, as, the coordinator, as manager of the club, I tried to, get the police backing, and say, hey, and I was just told at that point, well, let's see how it goes.
Mhm.
Probably not the answer I should have gone with there. So anyway, we have a sophisticated staff. We were all talking to each other on radios. And I don't think again, we do better every year. We learn something new every year.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a good spot. I really do. The community seems to really enjoy it. So,
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm on board too. I just think we just have to check with KYSO and check off all our boxes and all the sports, make sure we're good.
Yep.
I don't think you'll have to come back again. I mean, you're
no,
welcome.
I'm happy to come back for the other ask. The other ask is a much bigger event,
Okay.
but it doesn't really affect anything
Okay.
because it starts at like 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay.
But it's a giant event. If the weather is nice, October 4th.
Yeah.
There's gonna be,
Okay.
That could
lot of
only, again, depending on where the fall sports, are,
Yeah.
like
Right.
soccer and football will still be playing during that time.
Right.
So,
And if they do have some night games, but maybe see,
yeah.
that'll be.
That's a Thursday, you said, fourth, right?
well, the
fourth is
4th is a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, that's a big event on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Okay.
The only thing that would interfere with, and I believe it interfered with one year, is they had the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They hosted the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, they did a scrimmage. I think it was
that would be a Thursday. The scrimmages were normally on weekdays.
Yeah, I think they switched it without knowing, so I
Yeah.
think that's what happened.
And,
Rain date or something.
now, if the weather is really good on any given Thursday during the summer, there will be some overflow into the back, the back lot
Yeah.
of the field complex.
Mhm.
So that would be on, this side of Rizzo, where the old B3 was, where the basketball courts are, and
Yeah.
there could be some. It could be even bigger than that, and it could overflow way back. That happened a couple of times, and I don't think it was a problem. We sent, people out there to direct traffic in the complex,
Mhm.
and, it worked out.
Yeah, and in the summer, it's not as much of a big deal because the sports groups
Right.
aren't playing during that time.
Right.
So they're usually done by middle of June, I think. So you've got pretty much the middle of June through the middle of August where it shouldn't be an issue. It's just with that August to fall timeframe probably would be the trickier one to figure that out.
Yeah.
And as always, communication is key. So if Sue has a problem, she'll get in touch with me. She knows where to get in touch with me. And, you know, I'm in constant communication with Joe and Pat through other things too. So if there's ever a problem, you know, we're willing to work it out.
That's good.
All right, so
Thank
if
you.
anybody has any more questions, let me know.
Anything else, Joe, from you?
No, I'm good. I think it's a great event.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thanks, Ken.
Great night. Thank you. I appreciate your time, folks.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, next on the agenda, recreation office program administrator updates. What are we gonna do here? Are you gonna do on that,
Yep.
Sue? Okay.
So I'll just do that. Brandy's not with us tonight,
Yep.
so just she's been working a lot. You can go on our website and see how many programs that we have. A lot of really good things, still a bunch of things with the schools. Kids Test Kitchen is back. That's been huge. She's got another one called Energy in Motion, marble runs, wind turbines and more. That's kind of new with one of the over at the school. We added the babysitter safety training because we have a lot of people that were interested in that. She added a creative electronics program. We also have a Little Sprouts playgroup for school vacation week in February that was on there. And then I added today also the Grays Beach Park sticker information. So it's just an informational page. So people will be able to go and get the information that they need. That is April 1st, and we can talk about the sticker fees in a minute about some of those changes. We had our first tea and paint night last Friday night, and we added another one already. It was a huge success. Everybody had a great time. And then we've been doing adult pottery wheel workshops as well with our art coordinator. So a lot of really, really good things continue to be added. Brandy's been doing a lot of research and contacting a lot of other people. So grateful for all the stuff that she's done.
And everything's filling up too.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
awesome.
Yep, we haven't had to cancel. We did cancel one thing.
It's a lot of programs.
It
that
is,
offer for the weekend.
and they're
That's
like
awesome.
all full.
For the winter time, for
that's
sure.
great.
Yeah, our partnerships with the schools is just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think not only just for the families, but also for the teachers. I've had a lot of the teachers say how much they're appreciative of being able to have the opportunity to do that, because then they get to see the kids in a different way.
Yeah.
And then it helps them with the kids in the classroom too,
Yeah.
just being able to have a different kind of connection. And they also get to meet some of the kids that they haven't worked with yet that they might be working with in the future. So I think they really are enjoying it too, which is
Yeah.
huge. So it's a huge
Great
opportunity.
way to connect. the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Sure is.
And a great support for parents.
Yes.
They need a couple hours. when they get to school.
Yeah, and it even some families, you know, their kids are in the Y program, which then they stay a little bit later. So the teachers there are gracious enough that they actually
Just
then bring them back
walk
to the
them
Y
over, yeah.
program. Yeah, so they've
Yeah,
got
really.
different things going on,
That's awesome.
which is really cool. So,
Yeah,
yep,
I love that.
doing some great stuff.
Okay. So, anything else on,
Nope.
okay,
That's
so
it.
let's move on to director updates.
Director updates, so CPC project updates, just to give you an update on the well and irrigation project. So our well contractor and our electrical contractor have ordered the equipment for the next phase. The well contractor just let me know today that the pumps and the motors and something else are in. So that is great, because last year we had such a delay in the project because of the production of things that were necessary. So I'm excited to hear that they're in their shop. And then our electrical contractor already ordered all of the stuff that they need. They are gonna be moving some wires from inside the vault well pit, which fills up with water sometimes. That to outside to do a different type of a system, so they have to wait on the weather a little bit once the equipment comes in. So that is gonna be moving along, so I'm really excited about that. The tennis court project, that we've been working with our engineer on that, and that is actually going to be open for bid on February 5th. So this Wednesday, right? This Wednesday it will open. They are the point person, so people have questions or to get the bid packet, they'll be reaching out to our engineers, helping support that. So if anybody knows anybody that might be interested in the tennis court project, I can give you the contact information, and also should be available online as well. So I'm excited about that. And then our time frame is pretty quick, which we hope will be a good thing during this time of year. We want to have it done complete by the end of May. So if we can get, I think the bid opens the end of February, so weather dependent, they could start as soon as they are able to do that, and then just have to be completed by the end of May.
The
Before the
bid
summer.
closes the end of February.
February 28th is the
Okay.
bid opening.
Oh,
Correct,
okay.
yeah, so that would be the bid opening, and then we usually take a week to
Yeah.
review and assess those, and hopefully get a contract underway at the beginning of March.
Great.
Yeah, so moving
So
pretty
work would
fast.
begin April.
Well, weather dependent, you never
Weather-
know, so
yeah.
if we could get in earlier, then we would, because they're gonna have to be doing some excavation work and
yeah.
things like that, so they might be able to be in sooner, yeah.
Great.
And in that meantime, will the pickleball still be able to use the indoor?
Yeah.
That time?
Yes, yep, so they use the indoor, so this has nothing to do with the Grays
Yeah,
Beach.
no, I just didn't
So-
know if.
Yeah,
Right,
so our
that was one,
pickleball
yeah.
program still will go inside in the springtime. Their next session, which registration's opening in February, a little bit early, but their next session that will run April through June, they start to play outside if the weather's
Mm.
good. They like,
Okay.
if it's over 40 and sunny, then they're usually outside. So they'll continue to be able to do that
Okay.
down at Grays Beach Park, yes.
Great.
Just another update on CPC. We were asked to just give some additional information on open projects and closed projects. So just to give you guys, we've closed out 3 of our projects. We had a playground fence replacement, which happened several years ago. We had $44 left in that, so that was closed out. The Rosefield restoration, again, which was an older project, there was $15,575 left in that. That was closed out. And then the Opachinski Engineering Services Accessible Walkway, that was for an assessment, and we had $27,460 remaining in that, and that was closed out. So those 3 funds, that money will be returned back to the CPC budget. And then we have one, two,
What was the, do you have the total of that or?
I didn't
of
do
all
the
of those?
total of
Okay.
all of them together, no,
That's fine.
27,430, 42. About 43,000
Awesome.
approximately. And then the current projects that are still either underway, or we need to keep open. Grays Beach Park Playground, we have $2,700 left in that. We have a couple of things that after a year's time, they go back and then they just kind of reassess and look at things, so we just want to keep that money in there until that time. And then the Opachinski Fields and Drainage, so the B1 and B2 field project and the drainage project, we have $46,365 left in that. And we want to retain that until after the winter to see if there's any additional seeding that might be need to be done on the fields after the winter. And also if anything's settled with the drainage project, so if we need to make any adjustments and tweaks on that. So we're going to keep that open until probably, I would imagine, maybe the end of the spring, sometime in, or the end of the summer. The Opachinski irrigation well system, there's $45,896 in there. And I think that will take up about most of the rest of the project work, which is the electrical and the pumps and motor replacement that's gonna be happening this late winter, early spring. And then the Reed tennis courts is $150,000 for that. That's inclusive of our engineering services as well as the project and where we just went out to bid. We don't have any idea where the money is yet on that, but we have all of that money. So we still have those 4 projects that we're overseeing from CPC. So that's it on CPC. On fiscal year 26 budget updates, we've been working with our town administrator on the budgets. Budgets have been presented. As I mentioned in our last meeting, we did a 3.9% increase. We requested to do 4% or lower. I have a meeting with our finance committee on Wednesday evening to meet with them. I did meet with representatives of the finance committee on Friday to talk about our budget. The Board of Selectmen voted at their meeting last Tuesday. They voted on the budgets as presented by the town administrator. So our budget as presented was voted in by the Board of Selectmen and approved at that particular meeting. So that's all I know for now, but I'll keep you updated after the finance committee meeting and things like that. Capital planning, I haven't met with them yet. Keith was gonna reach out to them because we weren't on their original plan. But that's supposed to be on the plan. That's for the security systems.
Yeah.
So I'll keep everybody up to date on that. Just another general, which isn't on here, but I did meet with Chief Holmes and Lieutenant Scovera. It's like, sorry. I always say his names incorrectly. I met with them today, just to talk about some collaborative programming and some community connection opportunities with the police department. and the community. So we had some really good conversations about, we've been doing a few things here and there. We've had the DARE officer come here in the summertime. We've worked with them on the women's self-defense program, but there's a lot of other opportunities. So we talked about even some quick things about, if the police are out doing patrols and they have some time, maybe even just pop into a program here, instead of trying to recreate programs where people can meet them, but maybe there's an opportunity where the officers might just be out and about and can come in and they just say hi and see what's going on. So we talked a little bit about that, and we've talked about so a few more other programs that might come underway. So I'm excited about that. And they seem to be really excited for that as well. Property management updates, not much happening here. In this building right now, Grays Beach Park, a couple of things. One is it was brought up that there might be a need or an interest in having an AED installed down at Grays Beach Park. We haven't put one there in the past. We were a little bit worried about vandalism and things of that.
AED, what is it? That's the thing we have upstairs.
So it's like
A shocking. It's if
It's
your
the,
heart
yeah, like
stops,
the CPR, the automatic.
it's an automatic
Yeah,
electrical
Yeah, there's one upstairs.
defibrillation.
Defibrillator.
yes,
Or
yes.
something.
Yes, something defibrillator, yes.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
So we have one, we have two down at Opachinski Complex. We have one here. There's one, I believe, at the Font School. So there hasn't been one at Grace Beach since we haven't had the lifeguards in the waterfront because they used to have a portable one that they would carry in and carry out. So the concern is still about whether we want to install one down there, maybe
Yeah.
do it in the back of the shed, at the tennis court where the pickleball players play. So I did get a price from the fire department through the facilities manager. It would be about $2,900 if we wanted to purchase one for those. We could fund it if we wanted to do that. So I don't know if that's a discussion you guys want to have tonight or think about it a little bit more. It'll probably take a little bit to come in, but I know it's been something that's been asked by.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's needed.
Yeah, yeah.
Too.
I think so.
There's,
I
there's,
think
there's enough activity going on down there.
Yeah, especially with older adults.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead.
So, sorry, does it require training to use one? No.
when
It's
you,
like
yeah,
two
it talks
steps.
you through it.
Okay.
So it'll say, open this, it says
Okay.
save this, it says wrap this,
All
like,
right.
yeah.
Have we ever needed it at Grace Beach?
Not that I'm aware of, no. But I mean, if it's something you guys want to vote and move ahead, then I can go into purchasing it and then we can have another discussion either with Rob or with recommendation as a location. We'd have to purchase, the, like we did that. I mean, it's been at Opachinski for
Yeah.
a long time and there's never been any issues down there. So maybe it's just one of those things that hopefully would be safe where it is.
Yeah.
But to talk about, so if you want me to go ahead, I can move forward if you guys want to vote on that and then we can talk about location down there. A little bit.
I'd like to make a motion to purchase an AED for Grace Beach with the location to be determined later.
Second,
Is there like a concern that it would get vandalized?
I think so. Yeah. Everything else.
Yeah.
Yep, so. So Missy second.
I
so,
seconded.
So all those in.
All
favor?
those in favor?
And we have to do a voice roll call, so Joe Cunningham.
Yes, aye.
Eileen
Missy,
Mo-
I,
Eileen Moynihan, aye.
Missy, I.
Great. Fantastic. So that's that, and then the other thing is just to start, believe it or not, talking about music nights and dates. We've been meeting in our department and would like to bring back the majority of the musicians that we've had in the last years, because a lot of them the past year were local residents, and I think that's a great way to continue to support them. And that people like it, and I don't think we need to mix it up and do something different every year. So we were gonna reach out if you guys were good with that. I think there's only one other group. Deb was gonna reach out to somebody, but if anybody here has a recommendation to them, we can look at that. We were thinking of starting on June 11th, to fund 6 of them. If we get money voted in through the town meeting for the Sampson Fund. So it would be on Tuesday nights again. The only thing is I want to make sure I coordinate with the selectmen's meeting, so I don't know where they're at with dates, so we'll have to double check with them.
Okay.
You don't know, do you?
I mean, right now, we're on just a regular schedule, so I can tell you what our next dates are, but
Yeah.
let me solidify that first.
Yeah, so we would think about starting June 11th, and
Okay.
either the week before or the week after, but around that time frame, that would take us through. I think we ended up at the beginning of
Yeah,
September because
yeah.
we had a couple of cancellations or so.
Rain.
Right, we had a rain or something,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
So,
so
um,
6 of them, and then will that include that acoustic sunrise one?
no, but that's a different one. So if
Okay.
there's funding available, we still have some funds left available. So on the acoustic
Oh,
sunrise, we
okay.
haven't looked into that. We want to talk to you more about that.
Okay,
But we do also have an idea for a vendor, a food truck vendor. I
Oh,
don't
good,
know if you
okay.
have had anybody.
no,
So there is a new company that's coming into Kingston that's gonna be running out of the Nino's location.
Oh,
So that
nice.
that was purchased by a company called Slack Tide Coffee and Roasters.
All right.
They are out of Marshfield.
perfect.
They actually have a truck already.
Nice.
So moving into the community, they might be interested in, they have two facilities now, I think, believe, one in Marshfield, right down Marshfield, and then they're also in Previties.
Yep.
In Hanover, they have like a little build
Oh,
spot in that space there. But I think they'll want to do a lot of community things, and I think
That's
and then when I
perfect.
saw their truck, I was like, oh, this would be perfect, and they sell food, it's not just coffee.
Yeah, I love it.
So we can talk more about
Okay,
doing acoustic, I like that.
perfect.
And then any other food trucks, we were, if anybody has recommendations, I think we can switch the food trucks up. Excuse me, periodically, if we want to do that, we've been working with Just the Dip, they're great. And then some of the other ones that are coming in and out, I know that Slack Tide has said they are gonna be doing ice cream, I don't know if they'll have an ice cream truck.
Okay,
So I'm gonna reach out to them, actually the owners, sometime soon.
okay.
We'll go get some coffee in Marshfield.
I know,
When
right?
are they moving in?
I don't know all the details. I just saw it, actually, it was posted and somebody had mentioned it to me, so I saw that. So I'm gonna go to the Marshfield
Yeah.
location and just drop off my card and ask them to
Great,
get in touch. So,
I know the farmer's market was using a ice cream truck too. If I can find someone.
okay,
We might be able to ask them. It was pretty good. I forget the name of it though.
Yeah.
Blue and white.
yeah. I don't
I
know
don't-
the name of it either.
I know, I can't remember
I
about.
think the Plymouth Party one, is it Plymouth something or other? Yeah, so we can reach out
Okay.
and find out. for
Yeah,
this.
that would be great.
And then I don't know if we want to continue to reach out to do, the alcohol ones. I know that there's been conversations about yay and nay on that, so I don't know if the conversation you guys want to talk about now or wait till the meeting. I mean,
Were there?
there wasn't any issues or anything
No,
like that.
No,
not that I ever witnessed.
I think people enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's pretty low key.
And as long
Yeah.
as
it's an all and a half, it's early in the evening,
And
it's
it's
such a
early enough.
family
At like
event.
one,
Yeah.
it's,
yeah.
it's literally one and done. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
quick, but is the breweries?
I don't know, I haven't
Oh,
reached
okay.
out to them yet, so before I did, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure we were comfortable moving in that direction.
I mean,
Yeah,
unless there's
like it.
neighborhood concern or no.
I think so.
I haven't heard any concerns. I think that I would like it.
I,
think it's a
yeah,
nice
I
thing
thought it
for-
was great
Yeah,
myself.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nice opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
like
for
it.
a local foods, you know.
So once we kind of confirm the dates, we'll start reaching out to some of
Okay.
them. So
Okay.
we're working on that stuff, so that's great. The other thing about Grays Beach Park, so the sticker sales information. The only thing going back to our budget, the Board of Selectmen did discuss the sticker sales at their last meeting, and they were concerned that this fee was too low. And one of the things that Missy and I talked about is, I think, misinformation to all of you at our last meeting, so we didn't raise the fee last year.
Right.
It was 2 years ago.
Right.
So the Board of Selectmen with that decided to raise the fees to $30 and $60. So I don't guess that's kind of a done deal. I don't really know the procedure.
Yes,
all of
there
that.
was it was conversation about raising sticker prices across the board. And there was a motion to increase the sticker price from 100, 100 and 200. And I thought that was too much. It was kind of against what we had talked about, and
$100.
and I had expressed that we didn't raise prices because, one, we thought it was just done a year ago. And two, people were gonna spend already extra money on water and sewer bills, and that was kind of our conversation at the table. And so, with the information that I had in the moment, I was the one that made a motion to do 30-60. I was worried about the 100. And I talked about how it's tide dependent and there's playgrounds there and there's different things people use it for. And I just think 100, we might, personally, I think we might price ourselves out if we pick a sticker up that high. I don't know if we make the money for that, but that was my motion.
So it was 25?
It was 20 and
20
40.
and
20, 40.
So it went up to 30 and 60, 60 for non-residents.
With
yeah.
the same discounts that we already had available.
Right,
For the seniors and veterans. Yep. $15 off, I think,
Yeah.
is that accurate? Yeah.
Okay, that seems like a reasonable compromise to me.
Yeah.
What do you think? So-
I'm still trying to figure out. If the Board of Selectmen is going to make changes to the sticker prices, if why we set the sticker prices to begin with, so I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
But it came up during the budget.
$20 to $100 is a lot.
Significant.
It's a significant change, and like I said, I think we would
Yeah.
price ourselves out of
I
it. And they also weren't aware that you had to keep the sticker prices to, you can't more than double it because of the grants that we've used to fix the beach in the past, kept it at whatever our resident sticker is, we can't more than double
it.
the non-resident. So we had a little bit of a conversation about that as well.
No, I think that was a good call on your part. Joe, you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I thought we did it last year, but if it's been 2 years, I'm definitely in agreement for it.
Great. So again, going back, that information's online, so, check it out, make sure I didn't miss things, but feel free to proofread it. But it is available, so people will know that they'll go on sale on April 1st. The athletic complex and field update, so there was a meeting here held in person, with KYSO, which was a great meeting. There was probably about 14 people here. Some of the KYSO reps and also some of the presidents of the organizations and vice presidents showed up, which was, really good to have everybody, provide an opportunity for them to give updates and then for me to talk a lot about kind of what the relationship is and the partnership is with KYSO. Again, a lot of new people coming in, how we got to be where we are with, budgets and the facilities and scheduling and all of that. So I think it was a really, really good meeting. I was grateful that John and Pat kind of spearheaded that and coordinated to have a live meeting. I think they're gonna do live meetings moving forward and either use this building or maybe the Font School, which I think is great for them. To have another place to be able to have those types of meetings, but there wasn't anything that came up of concern. The biggest thing we talked about towards the end is our recommendation from our turf contractor. Recommended that to see if there's any way possible to rest the Rizzo field this spring, whether it's all of April and all of May or just all of April. So that conversation came up and it was actually, again, a really good conversation. All the sports group understood where it was coming from. Nobody seemed to be really upset or, about the recommendation, but more so, is there a way to make it happen? So they had already started talking about, is there a possibility to have that happen? Or can we have, some of our games, home games be, only then the end of the season and have all of our away games in the beginning of the season so we can rest Rizzo or those kinds of things. So it's basically soccer and lacrosse for this season, and they were having some good conversations about that. So I thought that was really good. So we'll just see where it comes. Pat did mention that if for some reason, our turf contractor comes back the end of March, beginning of April, when snow melts and the seasons are supposed to start, and he looks at it and because he overseeded and he did 3 different directions. So he did a ton of work to the Rizzo field. And if he's really concerned more so for safety than just the turf playability, then he would let us know and then we would have to make a decision to say sorry. And we did tell them that, but that's not the plan. We're not gonna override what they're gonna try to be able to do, try to work together. So
That makes
again,
sense.
yeah, it was a really good conversation for that. The other thing on property updates, so we have a bunch of repairs that are gonna be happening down there. The concession, we did receive the information from the funds from Silver Lake Youth Football regarding the fundraising that they did for the Shutters. that's already been delivered and they're gonna start working on Wednesday, weather dependent down there. So they'll be working on that first and then doing all the repairs of the press booth and the buildings and things like that. The other thing is just to update, we did send out, I might have already mentioned it last meeting, but we did send out our letters to our returning staff last year, couple weeks ago. They have to get those back to me by the middle of this month. So then by the end of the month, I'll know where we are with returning staff. And things for that. And then I'm working on that also, just the language and trying to get that underway because people are asking already. When are you gonna open registration? So, which is a good thing. I take
Yeah.
that as, I take
Oh,
that
that's great.
as a positive,
Yeah.
that's, the sooner I can get that available for people, the better it is for them to try to plan. So I'll try to continue to move that along. It used to be, we didn't do it before until sometime in May. And then it was the beginning of April, and I think last year I did the end of March. So, if
Yeah.
we can do what we can do, then we'll
Yeah.
continue to do that. I
Okay.
think that was it, KYSO. Music nights. Yeah,
Are you,
I think
can I ask a question?
you can.
Are you thinking after you figure out February's crew of kids? Are you thinking timeline March for the beach staff, asking that same question?
I'm
Can't
gonna, yeah,
remember
I
what we
usually
did.
do them a little bit later. I usually
Yeah.
do it I'd probably do it sometime. I'll send it out probably sometime in
Okay.
mid-February, and then try to get
Okay.
back information from them by the middle of March at the
Okay.
latest.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
as, we have a little bit more flexibility with.
We don't have that.
We don't have that many, so yeah. So I'll be sending that out hopefully if anybody's asking you,
Yeah.
probably within the next couple of weeks for
Okay.
them. I'll
Great.
get that out,
I
for the
couldn't
returning
remember,
staff.
so.
Yep. And I think that was all I had. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. The only thing on this is, like I said, back to the Hilltop request, we'll just reach out to KYSO, like you said, Joe, as well. And talk to Pat. My biggest concern is not springtime, it's more the fall. Just a little bit worried about the fall
Yeah,
schedule.
For sure. They have a night game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the football and it's
Yeah.
just so much.
Midnight
And then the
practice.
same thing with that
Yeah.
October 4th date, that
That
he's
needs
gonna
to
put
fix.
that in, but that's a little bit, just a
Okay.
little bit of a concern, but I'll coordinate that with that and we'll bring that back for the March meeting.
Okay.
So,
Great.
I think that was all I had. And then I had for the next meeting, March 10th, because Brandy's on vacation on March 3rd, but if people can't do that, we can try to do March 3rd and just get someone else to do the
Okay.
meeting minutes. So that's up to you guys.
Or March 10th, March 3rd.
So March 3rd would be our normal meeting. I just bumped it to March 10th
Oh, yeah.
in
okay.
case, because Brandy won't be here.
I like the 10th better than the 3rd. It's my birthday, not that that really
Oh, it
matters in
does
life,
matter.
but-
Of course it does. So if the 10th works for everybody, Joe, does that work for you?
Taking a look right now. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
That's Monday night. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep, second Monday. There are 5 Mondays in March, so technically we're, still the
Still
beginning.
kind of in there. Okay.
All right, so we'll leave it as March 10th.
Thanks,
Um,
guys.
Missy gets her birthday.
I
We'll
get
see,
my
we're going to
birthday.
go play.
Hopefully.
And I think that's all I have. Anything else?
No, just, you wanna give this to Joe? You wanna email him or nobody in this?
I'll put
packet
it in
next
his
time?
binder, yes. Yeah, I'll put that in his binder
Great.
with the meeting minutes and everything else for them from that.
We got
Um,
like the commissioner bylaws just to review, so when you come back.
Perfect.
All right.
Has everybody done their
Oh, thank you.
yes. Have we all done it? I did. I finally got mine in.
Mine's not due until April, so I have to do it for school as well. So I
Okay.
sent him my certificate that keeps me in it until April. So I'm up to date for now, but I'll
All
have,
right, perfect.
I know Pat did it as well. They were trying to have everybody do it now, so
I
it's the
know.
same time, but I know there's certain people that they mentioned about not being able, so that's good. So so Suzanne's the only one I'm not sure of, Joe.
Okay,
Check in with her.
But I've done mine, yes.
Yes. And I think-
excellent.
yeah,
Great.
My- Right here.
and I will do mine as soon as I
Want to see it, Joe?
Yeah.
figure out the school timeline. Awesome.
All right.
I'll make
so-
a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Joe, I.
Joe, hi.
Eileen, I.
Missy, I.